Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the bizarre, totally gonzo comedy world of an aging creator and his self-diagnosed psychological affliction. We're going to unpack a really fascinating stream of consciousness collection of transcripts from a creator named David. He spends his days sitting on a park bench observing the world, chatting with a muse named Grace, and documenting a very, very specific shift in his worldview. Okay, let's jump right into this jarring quote straight from our source material because it instantly sets the foundation for a deeply eccentric worldview. Our creator literally believes that crossing that threshold into your 60s should automatically grant you the societal leeway of a toddler. This concept of a free pass isn't just some throwaway joke for him. It's actually the core philosophy driving everything we're about to explore today. Section 1. Diagnosing Grandpaism. He officially categorizes his condition as Grandpaism, though he constantly debates the medical terminology with himself, wondering out loud if it should be called Grandpasitis, or maybe Grandpaetic, like diabetic, or even Grandiositis. He actually argues it should be formally recognized in the DSM-5 as an incurable philosophical disease generated right there in the DNA of a 60-year-old. And the main symptom? This overwhelming, unshakable belief that every single baby you see is yours. The only known cure, according to him, is simply being around more babies. He even floats this completely surreal alternate theory. Throughout the text, you'll see him constantly addressing this mysterious figure named Grace. He hypothesizes that Grace might actually be telepathically possessing his mind and body. In this wonderfully absurd scenario, whenever a cute child walks by, it's actually Grace's emotions triggering inside him, sending these intense paternal signals straight into his brain. It's just a wildly creative outsider comedy way of explaining his sudden, overwhelming fascination with infants. Section 2. Babies as Cult Overlords. Diving into the creator's raw transcripts, babies are established as the absolute #1 priority in what he calls his Church of Comedy. He notes that to stay in this cult, you have to follow strict rules, and it might even cost you $5 a month. The central tenet? Babies are revered above all else, and they are never, ever left alone. He even suggests putting a baby cam on their little toques just to constantly monitor them and ensure they are being revered properly. So in this micro-society he's built, babies aren't just cute. They are viewed as tiny mind controllers who manipulate adults the way cats do. He notes they actually communicate telepathically to their parents, forcing them to ignore all news sources, or demanding the family go outside for a walk in the pouring rain just because they, quote, stink a little bit. Their needs always come first, and the rest of the family is entirely secondary. Section 3. Observational Gonzo Fieldwork. Because he has so much free time sitting on his park bench, looking up from his phone every single time a stroller passes by, he has begun rigorously organizing the local infant population into this bizarre, highly specific taxonomy. It's literally like watching an anthropologist discover a strange new species. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer absurdity of his observations. He contrasts the heavily bundled coffin baby with the face-down flat baby. A coffin baby is a child completely trapped in their stroller, wrapped up in a sleeping bag, a toque, and a hoodie, with their arms and legs strapped down so tight that only their eyes are visible. On the flip side, you have the flat baby, lying face down on a flat open stroller, just working on increasing those neck muscles. He also points out the bobblehead baby as a personal favorite of his. He describes seeing a parent walking up a path, and right behind them, all you see is this giant head bobbing along, walking like a little samurai or a little Buddha. He genuinely marvels at these sightings. It really shows how this strange taxonomy actually brings a profound sense of joy and structure to his day. Section 4. The Punch Baby Chronicles. Now, we are going to look at this next part objectively as an exercise in dark, outsider comedy. He constructed this game purely because he claims he couldn't find enough VW bugs to play the classic road trip game Punch Buggy. Since he doesn't ride in cars anymore, he had to invent a brand new game based on his park bench observations, just to get his creative juices flowing. Stripping away the intended shock value for a second, the mechanics are highly specific. He explains it like this. Next time you're out walking and you see a Chinese or Asian baby, punch your friend in the arm lightly and yell, "Baby!" Now, if your friend tries to play back and punches you when they see a white baby, he says that's when you get to double punch them, because that is simply not how the game works. The creator openly acknowledges the edgy, problematic nature of the game. He jokes that it's probably not a good game for mothers to play at the park, or they'd come home all bruised. He explicitly states that the game sounds mean, but claims it's just meant to be fun. He's fully admitting he's a comedian testing boundaries to see exactly what he can get away with in his own solitary echo chamber. Section 5, The Philosophy of Aging. This quote is a real moment of raw honesty, showing that grandpaism is ultimately a byproduct of feeling completely lost in your twilight years. He admits, "I'm 60 and only now can I grow a full beard. I've been in puberty for my entire life." He acknowledges that when you reach a certain age, your perspective just abruptly shifts, whether you want it to or not, and you automatically get grandpaism. Think about it. The creator has 8 empty hours a day to kill. He uses this bizarre obsession as a manufactured purpose to cure the isolation of aging. He notes that he was forced to retire early without savings, surviving on an absurd diet of ramen and Walmart wieners. He sits in a park, adjusting his back to the cold wind, watching other grandpas pushing kids around, and thinks to himself, "I do that." This highly detailed taxonomy, the manufactured games, the rambling letters to grace, they are all a lifeline. They are creative exercises designed to keep his mind sharp and keep him out of bed when he literally has nowhere else to be. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Is this obsessive, edgy comedy cult just the ramblings of a bored senior? Or is it a deeply fascinating coping mechanism for mortality itself? Through the lens of grandpaism, we see how the human mind, when faced with the vast emptiness of aging, will invent entire universes, complete with telepathic baby overlords and bizarre park bench games, just to feel a sense of wonder and connection again. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the strange ways we all adapt to the passing of time.